One.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? This is Dr. Randy Palmer in Fresno, California. Hope you're doing well. Hey, I'm on live with my buddy Kristian Hoenicke in Maui, Hawaii right now. And we were just chatting about some really cool stuff, and we decided to record it, and we'd like to share it with you. And Kristian's a longtime marketer in the industry, and I'd like him to share with you some really cool stuff about a company we're in and a great product. Kristian, take over, my friend.
All right, will do. Thanks for having me on. Before I dive in, I just want to say a couple things. So this is going to be something less than a pitch, but it's going to be more than a teaser. What we want to do is give you the high points of what we've seen and what Randy and I are taking action on right now. And then it's just explain a little bit about why. And the whole goal is just to see if it gets your gears turning or not. If it doesn't, tell Randy to leave you alone. If it does, then we've got more that we can shoot your way. So I tend to look at things from a dry, analytical, data-driven point of view in business. But there's a really interesting product story that has to be kind of in the spotlight here. That is what got my attention as a marketer. We're going to talk just a few minutes here about skincare, anti-aging skincare specifically. And it's so funny because we're two dudes talking about anti-aging skincare. and it's something I've never cared about personally. But I just could not deny the numbers and the data as I started to dig into this. I got a call about 6 months ago from a friend out east here in the U.S., and the tone of the pitch was, it wasn't really a pitch. It was a buddy giving me a heads up. He was saying, I think these guys have done something that nobody else has done. They've got data that nobody else has, and I would like some help digging into this. I've got a research guy that I pay that I keep on my staff to dig really deep into things. So I put my guy on this for several weeks, and he went and scoured the internet in several countries just looking for data. And what we look for as internet marketers, we look for a passionate market of consumers, and that is, that expresses itself in the form of spending most often. And what we found is that this anti-aging skincare niche had over $500 billion spent on it last year, over $600 billion this year, and it's on its way to $1 trillion a year is what it looks like. It's trending up pretty fast. So a lot of people around the world want to look younger, apparently. That doesn't come as a big surprise, but the numbers were a shock. So that's one factor we look at. Another factor we look at is what's the competition look like? That's when it started to get really interesting. What we found is that, and I'm talking about big box retailers, any sort of competition, whether it's a direct sales company you might have heard of. And there are some that really stand out. They've had really impressive achievements, done significant revenue in short periods of time. We looked at every single one of those. We looked at their price point. We looked at their product. We looked at their claims. This took actually about 2 months to do this earlier this year. The biotech manufacturer that we're here to tell you about just a couple minutes, they actually took some of the top competitor products into their labs and reverse engineered them, looking for active ingredients, looking for something really compelling that would warrant big, crazy anti-aging claims. Because most of the competition, whether it's the big box retailers or not, have pretty impressive sounding claims. Yet, if you look at consumer satisfaction in this segment, it's been in the toilet for years. Basically, it's always been in the toilet. and here's why. As the biotech manufacturer had their teams tear into and reverse engineer some of these competitive products, what we found is they aren't competitive at all. They're topical level application products. They're moisturizers, they're exfoliants, they're carriers, creams with antioxidants and stuff. It's all topical, it's all surface. And consumers out there looking, spending $100, $200, $300 for a little jar, what they want is they want permanent change, or I think in most cases, they at least want to slow down the aging process of the skin, if not entirely stop it somehow. And that's what a lot of the claims in this niche, that's the kind of claims that are out there. They claim to stop or slow down the aging process of the skin. Well, what we found is we dug in hard here. This biotech manufacturer here in Tennessee, anti-aging was not their business. They've been in wound care. It's their whole business, wound care, for over 20 years. And the owner of the company is now a good friend of mine. I've gotten to know him well. Really has a heart for people. And early on in his career, discovered that people with chronic wounds would often, think diabetic ulcers, things like that. They would often lose limbs because they wouldn't heal. And I won't get into the details, but it is not nice at all. I mean, terrible for these people to suffer through. So he went on a quest to be able to heal these non-healing wounds. That's been their whole business for decades. Well, about 8 years ago, the National Institute of Health had a $38 million double-blind randomized clinical trial. The findings came out. It ran for well over a year. The findings came out 8 years ago, right about 8 years ago. And the day the findings came out, the owner of this biotech company got a phone call from one of his staff who had just looked at the findings of the NIH study. Long story short, he realized that day that the NIH study showed why the skin ages, very specifically. Mm-hmm. In that moment, he realized what they had been doing for non-healing wounds had been so successful that to this day, they have the #1 chronic wound product in the world. This biotech company has the #1 product in the world. And they literally do business all over the world. They have manufacturing all over the world, facilities and people all over the world. They're not as small as they used to be. But this 8 years ago, this NIH study brought about the understanding that so we now know what causes aging in the skin specifically. And Greg, the owner, reads it and he's like, wow, so we can stop that. Better than that, when they actually started to take this into a cosmetic application, this discovery, their active ingredients, what they found is it puts the dermis into a position where the collagen can actually regenerate. So they did this biotech company did their own double-blind randomized clinical trials, many of them. The findings are published and publicly available. I'm going to make some really big claims in a second. My position is if you're making a big claim, you better have really big, compelling evidence. Yeah. Otherwise, just mute. Where's the mute button? Shut this guy off. So anyway, what they found is that their active ingredients, the way they have their product line put together, it literally reverses the effects of aging in the skin. Reverses, not stops, not slows down. So think about this from a consumer perspective or from a business perspective. If you're a close friend of Randy's, a connection to Randy's here, and you want to look younger, okay, this is a banner day for you. This is big news. If you have any entrepreneurial bone in your body, the bells should be ringing right now, because look at the lay of the land. And this is, one of the things that I look at from a marketer's perspective. The last project my little team and I took on, as I'm thinking about this, talk is so cheap. So if you want proof for what I'm about to say, just hit Randy and I'll get you the proof. I documented this really well at the time. So we took on a project after about a month of research, and I knew it was going to be big. I didn't know it was going to be as big as it ended up being. I personally made $1 million, just over $1 million in 5 months profit. My friends who worked with me were making multiple 6 figures a month I'm talking better than $200,000 a month in their second month, in their third month, literally. We found this void online, huge pent-up demand, easy competition, and I'm telling you, the conditions that we uncovered 2 years ago, that's here right now. But it's bigger. I really think this is bigger. So, think about this if you have any network marketing, direct sales experience at all, and it's totally cool if you don't, but if you do, imagine what a product like this, a product line like this can do out in the wild. You have a product that creates a predictable and a visible result. You've done network marketing before, Randy. I've done it before.
Yep.
I love it. When it's done well, I love it. There's a lot of junk out there. But when it's done well, oh man, it can be amazing.
Right. Yep.
So imagine a predictable and a visible result, because the whole network marketing thing is all about storytelling. It's people telling people, which is better than TV commercials, radio commercials, and all that. I think we all know that. Yeah. But you mix that type of distribution model with a product line that creates a predictable and a visible result, which means I don't have to pitch Randy and say, I'm taking these vitamins, nothing against vitamins, but I'm taking these vitamins and I have so much more energy. He can't see any difference, right? He just has to trust me or not. What we have here is visible, guys. It's crazy. So I think, and I'll wrap it up here, and I'm sorry I went a little longer than I intended. Can we grab a lot of market share? So two sides again. On the product side, if you have any interest in anti-aging skincare, investigate this. And I'm excited for what you're about to see. If you have an entrepreneurial bone in your body, understand that we are poised to scoop up so much market share in a niche that has this river of money that's been flowing for decades. Anti-aging skincare is not a new idea, obviously. Hundreds of millions, hundreds of billions have been spent, and now hundreds of billions of dollars a year is being spent. Consumers are getting their wallets out and spending this money. The only question is, who are they going to spend it with? And after they see what we have, they'll have we don't really have a good competitor right now. So I'm expecting just an amazing uptake on market share and all that.
Awesome.
Anyway, you better shut me down, Randy. I can keep going.
Awesome stuff, Kristian. Very excited. I hope everybody out there sees how big this is. This is huge. Contact me. You've got my number. Most of you, 559-900-8495. I was thinking about you when Kristian and I were talking about this great opportunity. That's why you're seeing this video. So you can contact me on my cell number and or by email, blackrhinofresno@yahoo.com. You can Facebook me also by Messenger. Love to chat with you. Great times ahead, guys. Thanks so much. And Kristian, thank you. Awesome job. And have a great day, guys. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Randy. We'll see you around.